In Luke 15:11-32, Jesus tells the parable of the prodigal son, a story of a wealthy man with two sons. One day, the younger son boldly demands his share of the estate from his father. The father grants his request, and the son quickly leaves with his inheritance for a distant country. There, he squanders all his wealth on wild and reckless living, spending money on parties and clothing. Eventually, a severe famine hits, and the son finds himself in desperate need. He ends up taking a job feeding pigs and is so hungry that he wishes he could eat the food of the pigs. In his despair, the son comes to his senses and remembers that even his father's hired servants have plenty to eat. He decides to return home, prepared to confess his sins and ask to be treated as a servant. As he approaches his home, his father sees him from a long way off. Filled with compassion, the father runs to his son, embraces him, and kisses him. The son begins to confess, admitting he has sinned against heaven and his father, and feels unworthy to be called his son. But the father interrupts and calls for the best robe, a ring, and sandals to be brought for his son. He orders the servants to prepare a feast with a fattened calf to celebrate the return of his son, who was lost and is now found. Meanwhile, the older son returns from working in the field and hears the music and dancing. When he learns the reason for the celebration, he becomes angry and refuses to join in. His father comes out and pleads with him, but the older son expresses his frustration, saying he has served faithfully for years without receiving such a celebration. The father gently explains that everything he has belongs to the older son, and that they must celebrate because the younger brother, who was thought to be dead, is alive again. He was lost and is now found. This parable beautifully illustrates themes of repentance, forgiveness, and the boundless compassion and love of the Father, mirroring God's love toward us. God's love for us is unconditional and forgiving.